Welcome back to Tarik Talk. Walking into the Whitney Museum during the 2026 Biennial, you immediately feel that this exhibition is about more than just individual works. It's about how artists reshape the way we understand history, culture, and form. The Whitney itself, overlooking the Hudson River, becomes part of that experience. Open, expansive, and constantly shifting with light, it creates the perfect setting for an exhibition that is deeply engaged with the present moment. Curated by Marcela Guerrero and Drew Sawyer, the 2026 Biennial brings together artists exploring identity, memory, and connection across cultures and geographies. It's an exhibition that doesn't follow a single narrative, but instead unfolds through atmosphere, through relationships between works, and through the ways artists challenge what we think we know. And for me, encountering Kamrooz Aram's work in this context felt especially meaningful. I first learned about his work when I was in Tehran, in Iran. Being there, surrounded by the visual language of pattern, architecture, and ornamentation, gave me a different understanding of abstraction, one that exists far beyond Western traditions. So seeing his work here, in the Whitney Biennial, felt like a full circle moment. There was an excitement in recognizing that connection, and in seeing how those ideas translate into this space. Kamrooz Aram's practice challenges the way art history has traditionally been written. For a long time, Western art narratives have separated fine art from what they labeled as decorative, placing painting and sculpture at the center, while forms like carpets, ceramics, architectural design, and ornament were pushed to the margins. Aram questions that divide. His work draws directly from these histories, reclaiming them and repositioning them as central to the story of abstraction. In the Biennial, his installation creates an environment rather than a single focal point. He contributes not just individual works, but the design of the space itself. There's a painted wall he describes as a monochromatic mural, which becomes a backdrop that unifies everything around it. This gesture is subtle but powerful. Instead of isolating each artwork, the space becomes continuous. The mural doesn't compete with the objects, it holds them together. It creates a rhythm, a visual language that connects painting, pattern, and form. As you move through the installation, you begin to notice how these references unfold. There are echoes of carpets, of tiled surfaces, of architectural details, but they're not presented as direct replicas. They're translated, abstracted, reimagined. The work exists between recognition and transformation, and that in-between space is where Aram's work becomes most compelling. He's not simply referencing history. He's questioning how that history has been framed. Who decides what is decorative? Who decides what counts as abstraction? And what happens when those boundaries are removed? Within the context of the Whitney Biennial, these questions take on even more weight. This exhibition is deeply concerned with how artists relate to systems, cultural, political, historical. Aram's work fits into that conversation by challenging the systems of art history itself. He reveals how certain traditions have been overlooked, and in doing so, opens up new ways of seeing. There's also a quiet elegance to his work. It doesn't demand attention through scale or spectacle. Instead, it invites you to slow down, to look closely, to notice how patterns repeat, shift, and evolve. The experience becomes almost meditative, and the Whitney's architecture enhances that. As you move through the galleries, with light filtering in and the city just beyond, Aram's installation feels both grounded and expansive, rooted in history, but fully present in this moment. Seeing his work here, after first encountering his ideas in Tehran, creates a layered experience. It connects place to place, culture to culture, past to present. And that's what makes the Whitney Biennial 2026 so powerful. It's not just showing art, it's creating conversations across time and geography. And through artists like Kamrooz Aram, those conversations challenge us to rethink what we see, how we see it, and whose histories we carry forward.